Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, ladies. Good morning, Miss Michelle. Happy Monday. I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Good. Mine was too. Good morning, Miss Carletta. Good morning, Miss Nisa, baby. Happy Monday. Good morning, Miss Nisa, honey. Happy Monday. I'm still in the kitchen, y'all. He's, my husband said something about they got a hard wire. We had a extender in there, but he said for whatever reason it's not working well with whatever new stuff he did. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna be back in the cozy cottage. But I was in there yesterday. Good morning, Mr. Kira. Good morning, Miss Jenny. I hope all of you who celebrate Mother's Day had a good Mother's Day. I had a great Mother's Day. I pray y'all had a great. Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that. It was good. I did exactly what I wanted to do, which was be in the cozy cottage and then go see my grandson later. Oh, I saw my grandson and I'm good. Good morning, Miss Donna. Your daughter spoils you. Good. You didn't want to get up. No, you wanted to get up. you didn't. You wanted to. You wanted to wake up. You didn't want to get up out the bed. I got you. Good morning, Miss Janicia. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Miss On an Island. Yeah, you wanted to wake up. You want to get up out that bed. I feel you, because I was like, man, I should have said I would come Tuesday and gave myself Monday off, but that's okay. I was like, nah. I was on, because I was thinking about it and I was scrolling Instagram. And then when I was on Instagram, a live came up and it was like morning devotional. I was like, let me get my butt up. Let me get my butt up. Good morning, Miss Naturally Reed. Yes. I was in the cozy cottage from when I woke up till probably I woke up at about 9. I got out of the bed. I stayed in there until 5 o'clock. And I loved every minute of it. My husband kept coming in there talking about, I'm not bothering you. I'm just saying, I'm bored. I'm like, I ain't here to entertain you, sir. I miss my wife. Goodbye. Good morning, Miss Carolyn. All right, it is 7:05, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Our devotional title today is When It's Time to Pivot. Trusting God in the shift. Okay. Our scripture is one we've read many times. Isaiah 43:18-19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Okay? So, as women, we often find comfort in what's familiar, even if it no longer fits. We stay in roles, routines, and relationships long past their season because they feel safe, known, or expected. But sometimes God asks us to pivot, not because we failed, not because we're lost, but because He's growing us, redirecting us, preparing us for something greater. A pivot can look like leaving what's good for what's God, closing a business, changing a career, ending a friendship, shifting how you show up as a woman, a mother, a leader, or a daughter, releasing an identity that is no longer aligned with your purpose. God doesn't ask you to, God doesn't call you to stay stuck. He calls you to move with Him, even when the next step feels unfamiliar. The key is this discernment, which we talked about discernment before. Ask God, is there a lack of peace where I used to feel planted? Is God closing doors I keep trying to pry open? Is the fruit drying up in this area of my life? Am I being stretched, not to break, but to bloom? Remember, a pivot isn't rejection, it's redirection. God is too faithful to leave you in a place where you can no longer grow. God is too faithful to leave you in a place you can no longer grow. So, an affirmation we can say is, I am not afraid to pivot. Good morning, Miss Monica. Happy Monday. I follow peace, not pressure. I trust that God is making all things new, even when I don't have the full picture yet. Our journal prompt: where in my life am I feeling nudged to pivot or release something? What would it look like to trust God in that shift? An action step: take one soft step toward what you feel God is stirring. That might be journaling the vision, praying over the next move, releasing a false timeline, because we love to put our timelines out there. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Move in obedience and clarity will follow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to evolve. Don't fear the pivot. God meets you in the shift. So today we're just talking about when to know and how to move on. Good morning. This is one that I wrote. When it was Isaiah 43, 18 through 19. Yeah, basically we're talking about, when is it time to move on? When is it time to make a change? Like, I know for me, I know when I have to make a change, but unfortunately, thank you, Miss Cassandra, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, God has had to push me to make changes. He's had to burn bridges in order for me not to cross back over them. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't want to make the change. You know the change needs to happen. Things around you are not working out the way that they were. You no longer feel a peace. You're welcome. Good morning, Miss Patrice. You no longer feel a peace. You no longer feel at ease. Your spirit is all, you're confused. You don't know what's going on, but yet and still, and I'm speaking for me, you still don't make a change. You still don't let it go. You still, we just going through rough times. Oh, everything's going to work out, da, da, da. But you know that whatever chapter you're on, that book is about to end. Good morning, Miss Wild Horses. Happy Monday. That book is about to end, and you don't want this book to end. So you keep writing more chapters, and you getting to the point where it needs to end, and the book just not making sense anymore. You know how people throw on them crazy endings when you're watching a movie, and you like they had nothing else. they had nothing else to put on here. They had to end it like that. You know, you don't want that ending. You want to be able to move on gracefully, right? You want to be able to make a shift and it not mess you up. A lot of my changes have been pushed by him as well. Yeah, like we have to stop getting to the point, speaking for myself, where God has to push you to make those changes and you be obedient the first time. Because really, when it comes down to it, it's just us not being obedient. We know what we're supposed to do. Good morning, Miss Natasha. Happy Monday. We know what we're supposed to do. We know what we're not supposed to do. We know all of these things, but yet and still we won't make the change, right? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's going out into the unknown. You know, a lot of people say when like women stay in relationships or they stay with a dude for years and years and years, but you know this dude ain't no good. It's the devil that they know, right? It's the devil that they know. And that's like, I don't want to know the devil, period. I don't want to be familiar, but they're familiar with how this person rolls, what they don't do, what they do, and all of those things. And they don't want to go out there and take the chance of meeting someone else. And that person could be wonderful, but you don't ever want to take that chance. We have to stop operating in fear and lack and thinking that we can't have the things that we have asked God for, right? And also thinking that we have to suffer. Yes, we're going to have trials and tribulations, but a lot of those trials and tribulations we create for ourselves, if I'm just being honest. For me, I know that there are things that I've created for myself because I stayed in situations that I didn't need to stay in. Whether that be a job, whether that be a relationship, a friendship, all of those things, right? So, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to trust what you're seeing or what you know. Yeah. Fear of change. It's just, that's it. God goes before us and he knows what's best for us. Yes, but the problem is we don't trust that. We don't have faith in that. And I'm speaking for myself, not y'all, but there were times I did not trust that, right? I trusted what I saw, right? I trusted what I saw, what I heard, all of those things, rather than trusting God. Yes, he will open those doors and we simply just have to walk through the path he has laid before us. Absolutely. Good morning, Miss Natarsa. Happy Monday. But yeah, pivoting, making a change, it's one of the most powerful things we could do. It's one of the most powerful things that we could do, but we don't do it because it's scary, right? Because we don't like the unknown. So, how, as feminine women of faith, can we learn to pivot and release? Okay. Good morning, Miss T. Miller. Happy Monday. It is not about force. It is about flowing with God's timing, trusting his leading, and surrendering with softness. Stuckness often comes from fear, like we talked about, guilt, or an attachment. Ooh, that's good. Because a lot of times we are attached. We are attached, right, to what was. But a soft, spirit-led woman learns to release the old so she can receive the new. Okay? We go ahead and do stuff without God and it's a wrong hot mess. Ugh. So many times I've done stuff and I know God told me don't do that. But thinking I know, I know better, Lord. Never ended well. Never ended well. And I've had to pray for God to get me out of stuff that he never told me to get into. That be the thing. He never told me to get into that stuff, ever. But I did it anyway. Yeah. So, how can you learn to pivot with grace and not remain stuck? Surrender control to God, not culture. Feminine faith says, I don't have to figure it all out. I just have to stay close to the one who does. I just have to stay close to the one who does. We operate a lot of times in our masculine energy because we have to. We can't sit here and, be the feminine women that God has made us to be all of the time. We are mothers, we work, we have to make decisions, we have to be productive. There are things that call on us to, use our masculine energy. But it also places us in where we feel like we have to figure things out all the time. And that is not our job. It is not our job to try to figure things out. It is our job to be obedient. It is our job to say and go to God first and say, Lord, is this what you want me to do? You got to let me know, and I'll walk with you. That is our job, not to figure out what it's going to look like, how it's going to happen. All of those things, we have no control over that anyway, so we don't need the time to sit there and try to figure it out. Hey, good morning, Miss Angela. No, it's Anigla. Oh, I hope I said that right. Good morning. Happy Monday. So we have to just continue to connect with God like we're doing now, connect on our personal time, pray, and really, really develop that relationship where we are talking to him first about everything. And we are not using our own energy to try to figure things out because we never will. He already said in the Bible that his ways are not our ways. There's things that we will never understand about God. However, we know that we can trust him. We know that he will keep us. We know that he loves us, he cares for us, and that he would never lead us wrong, right? He would never forsake us, right? So knowing that, we should be able to follow him, right? But it's just, for whatever reason, it's not that easy. So we release our own timeline and trust God's rhythm, even when it feels slow or uncertain. That's the thing. Me, I'm still working on patience. I'm a lot better than what I was, but that patience will get you every time. He is so good, Miss Cassandra. That patience will get you every time. We want what we want, and we want it now. We want it now. We don't want to wait and let God work it out. Let God figure it out. Even if we know that that's for the best, right? We still want it now. I was listening to a podcast, I think the Dr. Daff show, and she was talking about Sarah and Abraham. God made the promise that, nations and everything would come through Abraham, and they didn't have any children. So Abraham's like, how are we going to do this? They're just getting older and older and older, right? And none of this stuff has happened for them, right? Imagine God telling you, hey, you're going to have a baby. You're already old, okay? And you just getting older and ain't nothing happened. So Sarah took it upon herself to give Abraham her maidservant. Haggai? I know I'm not saying that right. How did that work out? How did that work out? Us not being patient, it doesn't do anything but set us back. That's it. We think that we're moving things along, but we're really setting ourselves back. That did not work out, okay? She ended up having the son. They had to banish him because, her head got big, from what I understand. That's my interpretation. Her head got big, and then Sarah was like, no, and it was a big old mess. It was a big old mess. Yes, but God kept his promise. Even through all of that, God still kept his promise. He wasn't like how we were, and we would have been like, well, see, you did what you did, forget you. You did what you did, forget you. Forget you. Yes, we make bigger issues. They wanted 20 years before that came to pass. Yeah. Oh, they waited 20 years? That's how long? Wow. Imagine waiting 20 years. God tells you you're going to have a baby. And imagine waiting 20 years to get pregnant. Could we have done that? Obviously, Sarah couldn't do it either. That's why she did the things that she did. But imagine God saying something. It's going to take 20 years to happen. Well, he ain't even told you. You just gotta wait. Would we be able to do that? Good morning, Miss Summer Baby 82. Would you be able to do that? Oh, I forgot what you said. T, right? I think so. Your girl don't have the best memory, so forgive me. Imagine having to wait 20 years to get what God said you're supposed to have. Could you do it? I already know. He had knocked me in my head a couple times. I already know. So, Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and he will direct your paths. Okay? We really have to take that scripture for what it says. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. That's the key. Trust. And he will direct us. He will direct us. He will tell us every which way to go. He will tell us how to turn and where and what we should say and all of those things. The thing is, we don't trust him and we don't consult him. We think we know. We think we have it figured out. I've done this before. I've seen this before. But like the scripture says, God is doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. He's doing something you ain't never seen before. You never experienced. But you can't if you do not pivot when he says to do it. So, listens for peace, not pressure. Listen for peace, not pressure. God doesn't speak through fear or force. He leads to peace, even when the pivot is uncomfortable. A woman of faith learns to notice when peace lifts and to pay attention when it returns somewhere else. Like I was saying in the beginning, for me, it's been relationships. The peace has left a long time ago. I'm not sleeping well. We're not getting along. We're arguing. Everything is, what used to happen doesn't happen anymore. Y'all know how a man do when he switch up that pattern. Y'all know, because they creatures of habit. And then when they switch up that pattern, you know something is going on. And you get that uneasy feeling. But instead of leaving, instead of confronting the situation, you pretend like you don't see it. You make excuses. All of those things. The peace is gone. The peace is gone. How they be saying, Christina's gone. Christina's gone. Okay. The peace is gone. And instead of trying to figure out where it went, how to get it back, we will just go through the chaos. We will just go through the chaos. We will go through the trauma and the drama. I don't know, sometimes, me personally, I think as people, we are addicted to suffering when we don't have to. And I'm speaking for me and the experiences that I've had and seen. We are addicted to suffering when we don't have to. When that peace leaves, You need to start investigating. Why is the peace leaving? What is going on? God gives women intuition, that internal feeling, but we don't follow it. We don't follow it. We ignore it because it doesn't feel good. We don't want to have to change. I don't want to have to go back out there and date again, Lord, and get to know someone else and da 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 da. I don't want to have to do all of those things, even though that was what was best. And God can take a short amount of time and turn it into, a long amount of time and turn it into a short amount of time. He can compress it. But we don't believe that. We don't believe that. I went with being with someone for almost 3 years to meeting my husband in November and getting engaged in April and getting married in November of that same year. In less than the time that we met, less than a year, we were married. And I'm not saying that to say that's how everybody's thing is gonna go. I'm just saying when you release yourself from situations that you know you don't need to be in, God can do wonderful things if you allow him. If you allow him. Yes, he will show us the red flags, but it's not red, it's kind of pink. Oh, it's a little orange. Baby, that flag just red as it wanna be. Just as red as it wanna be. Yes, I understand what you're saying, Miss Jenny, but yeah. So we gotta stop and we gotta make the change and not let God have to force us to make that change. I ain't saying there's anything wrong with burning bridges. And sometimes that does have to happen. It is necessary. But I think that if we let God lead us in those situations, things will end up happening much more peacefully. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't ignore them. Don't ignore when the peace, that should be, I think that is a very good indicator of when maybe we should move on. When the peace lifts, when the peace leaves, when you are not feeling peaceful and you know that feeling. Okay, it lingers, it stays. I'm not talking about, y'all had a argument or, something happened at the job today. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about every day you're feeling less and less unsure. Every day you think something is up. Every day, there's no peace for you in this situation. That is when you need to start pivoting. That is when you need to start pivoting. So, excuse me. Treat release as a sacred act. Releasing a season, relationship, business, or dream is not a failure. It's faith in action. It says, God, I trust you more than I trust what I built. She releases with grace, not resentment, with gratitude, not shame. That be the problem. Our investment. Our investment will get us every time. I've worked at this job 20 years. I can't move on. Women, and I'm speaking for women from experience and because I have done this many times, we cannot give up on our investments. Whether it's our time, our energy, our money, we will not lay that thing down and say, you know what, I've done all I can do. I just have to let this go. That is very hard. Let me not speak for y'all. For me in the past, that was very, very hard for me to do, to let go of that investment. But I've been with you for, it took me a very long time to get out of my first marriage. When I saw the signs right away. Right, I'm talking about after we got married, I saw the signs right away. But I'd already had 2 kids, investment. I had already spent so much time, investment. We had bought a house, investment. All of these things. We have to learn how to not be afraid to let go of our investment. And it's funny, we're so afraid of letting go of our investment when our Father is over everything. He owns everything. He creates situations, opportunities, doors to open. He's the one that runs the money. He is king over everything. He owns everything. None of this belongs to us. None of this belongs to us. However, we are so afraid to let go of our investment. Letting go of your investment, like it says here, letting go of that season, that relationship, that job, that dream, it is not a failure. It is actually a very smart move. Okay? Business people do this well. They make decisions very quickly. Okay? They will, you know what? Listen, Beyonce is a boss because she knows how to pivot. She knows how to make those hard decisions and say, you know what? Yeah, we might have done all of this, but I don't want that anymore. I'm done with that. Or I'm taking a break from that. Who would have thought that she would have a whole country album right now that she's going on tour for, that people are going crazy for? Right? I'm pretty sure everybody was like, no, you invested all this time into R&B and pop and all of this, and you're going to do country? Right? You're going to do country? You might lose your audience. You might do this. This might happen. She did not care. She didn't care. She's like, I'm going to do it anyway. Yes, not getting a return on investment. Baby, y'all know, and I'm just speak honest. You don't want to let that person go because you know if they get with someone else, you're afraid that they're going to do more for them than what they did for you. When that ain't none of your business. When I let that go, I knew then that I had matured. When my ex-husband, when I was able to stop wondering if he gets with someone else, is he gonna treat her better? Is he gonna do all the things I wish that he would do? And I spend all this time, and I'll be danged if he go be with another woman and he does all. When I was able to let all of that go, babe, I knew I did not care at that point. I knew I had matured. I knew that it was time. I didn't care whether you did something for that ain't my I don't care. It ain't my business. Obviously, you were something that I didn't need to be invested in. Okay, you know how you climb the ladder and it's hooked up to the wrong building. Yeah. The analogy of the little girl holding on to the teddy bear really comes to mind. God always has bigger and the best. Yep, that's the mindset. So true. Thinking a new person will reap the benefits of my investment. That always gets us. But y'all notice that don't ever get men. Hardly ever. You never see men like, oh, she's gonna go be with that dude and do all. They never. They don't worry about those. Sometimes we can learn from men in relationships. They don't be worried about that type of thing. That does not hold them to anyone. Men will spend years with you, turn around, leave you, and then go marry a girl in 6 months. They do not care about an investment of time, money, energy, any of those things. If you are no longer doing what they need you to do for them, in whatever capacity that was, baby, they're like, I'm out. I'll figure it out. It'll be done. They do not care. They do not care. But women, we will stick around because we invested so much time and money in my youth and all those things, and nobody's gonna want me. And then, he's a man, he can get out there and he can do this. Who cares? God don't care. There's no way, according to the manosphere, that I should have met a man that, if you don't know, my husband is younger than me by about four years. met a man, got married, moved in with him, quit my job, all the things that he's done, all the things that he's taken care of. There's no way, according to the manosphere, I should have those things. I'm telling you, it can happen for you. That's what I'm getting at. It can happen for you. Whatever the situation, it may not be a relationship, it may be a job. It can happen for you, but you got to go when the peace lifts. You got to go when the peace lifts. You got to stop being scared of not getting a return on your investment and take your money out of there and go put it somewhere else. That's what you got to do. So, I trust you more than what I built. Move with softness, not striving. Pivoting doesn't have to be dramatic, okay? That's it. It don't have to be a big thing. It can look like taking one brave next step, praying over what needs to be released, saying no more often, and choosing rest over hustle, okay? It's not just pivoting in a whole relationship or job or friendship or whatever the case may be, right? Sometimes we want to make a change in our lives, right? We want to show up as someone else, someone better, God's best. And the things around us, our environment, the people, all of those things make it hard to make that change. And that's what they're talking about here. It doesn't have to be I quit my job, or like women like to do, we cut our hair, or all of that. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It can be simply, Lord, I know that the peace is gone in this situation, and I'm asking you to move me to something else. I'm asking you to show me where to go. Order my steps. That's what pivoting can look like sometimes. So, allow the shift to unfold without rushing or controlling it. Keep your identity in Christ, not your roles, okay? We know that we are not just the job, the title, the marriage, or the ministry, okay? Before anything else, who are we? We are God's daughter. We are the King's daughter before we are anything else, okay? Before any other role entered our life, we were born into this world as the King's daughter. And that is a role that we always need to come back to, and we never need to forget. Okay? All of these other roles can be stripped from us. Okay? Unfortunately. We could get divorced. We could lose the job. You know, we could not become mothers, or, you know, our kids can grow up and leave, and all of those things. That does not make you a mother, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, your roles here can change, but one role that will never ever change is being the King's daughter. Ever, ever, ever. It will never change. And so we must get our identity from there, and not from the additional roles that we're blessed to have in our lives, whatever that may be. Your softness stays intact because your identity is rooted in something eternal. Listen, I have really been thinking, when things happen or things go down, I really be like, I'm the King's daughter. I'm the King's daughter. It's going to work out. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm the King's daughter. Like, I really be, because I am. And you are too. Like, we all are. We are his children. Like, I really be on my, gotta work it out. I really be on it. I don't, me and my husband were laughing because I was telling him, he was like, I don't know how you do what you do, like going live every morning. He was like, man, I've been to cuss people out and all kind of stuff, because I was telling them, you know, about the unpleasantness sometimes that I have on the live. And we were laughing because he was talking about, he teases me about my eyes or whatever. And I was like, yeah, somebody came on the live and they was like, you got some big old eyes. And he was just cracking up. He was like, man, I'd have been the one to say something. But he was like, obviously you are, primed for this. And I was like, I don't take it personal or whatever. And I told him about somebody saying something was on my chest, like what was that on my chest? And so he got upset. He was like, what? He said, I was like, listen, I don't care what them people say about me. They don't know me. I don't know them. I am the king's daughter. And I ain't worried about none of that. I ain't worried about none of that. And he just was laughing because he just thought that was hilarious. That not the chest part, but the big old eyes and all of that. Thank you, Miss Natarsa. I'll just say thank you. I don't know if I'm graced for this, but I guess I'm at the point in life where nothing really too much bothers me. I'm at the point of life where I no longer take things personal, especially if you don't know me. You don't know me. I don't know you, girl. What did you talk about? I can see you coming on someone's live and they got all of this going on, and you're like, "What's going on?" You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like I don't take it personal anymore. So now, back in the day, you'd have hurt my feelings. I'd have been crying. Now, I'm the king's daughter. Not saying you ain't, but I recognize. You know what I'm saying? I recognize. So anyway, she surrounds herself with truth and sisterhood. She doesn't pivot alone. A feminine woman of faith lets trusted women in God's word hold her steady while everything shifts around her. 2 Corinthians 3:17 says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Your sisterhood is important. Y'all are so important to me. Again, I did not want to get out my bed this morning like Takira. I was up, but I didn't want to get out that bed. But I was like, no, like y'all are important to me. And even when, the what they say on TikTok, follow the plan, not the mood, okay? And the plan is for us to grow deeper and deeper in relationship and sisterhood. And we can't do that if I don't show up, right? Or y'all don't show up, right? So, yeah, you need your sisterhood. Unfortunately, we live in a world where women are a lot of times pitted against each other, and it's a competition that we were never made to be in, and so on and so forth and so on. And I think when we recognize that we really, really need each other, and develop a community where we can lean on each other, where we can pray for each other, where we can understand that we don't have to be hard, that we can be soft with each other, we can be vulnerable, all of those things, we would be so powerful. We would be so powerful if we allowed ourselves to show up in the role that we are supposed to be in as women. Yes, I look forward to it too, Miss Cassandra. I do. But we aren't there yet, but I hope that we are getting there. I hope that we are getting to a shift in sisterhood. I hope that we are understanding that it is power in serving each other, right? Yeah. I think if you know that you have someone that you can talk to, if you know that you have someone that can pray for you in sincere prayers, right? If you know that you can have someone who is generally looking out for you, that generally has your best interests at heart, you can move so much better in the world. You can move so much better in the world. So much better. So yes, we are equal in God's eyes. He is no respecter of person. He is no respecter of person. Like I said, anything can happen to anyone at any time. And even though I know that no one wants to talk about or preach about being humble or humility and that type of thing, it's very necessary to understand that roles can reverse at any time. And so therefore we have to be grateful, we have to be kind, we have to be warm, we have to be tender, we have to be empathetic, we have to be sympathetic, because at any time God can place you in my shoes and vice versa. Anytime. I've seen it. Going to an urgent care, and next thing you know, you're diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I've seen it. Okay, I've seen it. Things can change really, really quickly, and so we always need to have a sense of humility about ourselves, to be humble, and recognize that things can change beyond our control. So, yes, a feminine woman of faith isn't afraid to pivot. She knows that God will lead her, because she knows that God who led her here will lead her forward. Even in release, she is soft. Even in change, she is safe. Even in unknowns, she is secure. So, in the blink of an eye, absolutely. So, let me read the devotional again. And we are talking about when it's time to pivot, trusting God in the shift. Our scripture was Isaiah 43:18-19. We've read it a few times. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you not see what I'm doing? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Okay? Streams in the wasteland. As women, we often find comfort in what's familiar, even if it no longer fits. We stay in roles, routines, and relationships long past their expiration date, their season, whatever you want to call it, because they feel safe. It feels comfortable. It doesn't necessarily feel good, but it's comfortable. It feels safe, known, or expected. But sometimes God asks us to pivot. Not because we fail, not because we're lost, but because he is growing us. He's redirecting us, preparing us for something greater. A pivot can look like leaving what's good for what's God. You know, that job that looks like it's so good, you're making so much money, but you're stressed out, you're crying, your mental health is suffering, you cannot get out of bed to get where you need to go. Like, you know that job, oh, it's a good job, oh, you got a good job, but the job is killing you inside. That's not God. He don't want you going through that, right? Same thing, relationship. It looks good on the outside. Y'all look like this power couple, this perfect couple, but y'all hate each other guts. There's no peace at home. All of those things. That's leaving what's good, or what looks good, or what appears to be good for what's God. That's trusting him. That, Lord, yeah, I'm making all of this money, but this job is stressing me out. My hair is falling out. I can't sleep at night. I'm having stomach issues. All of these things, I don't even want to come into this job. But how am I going to make this money? How am I going to take care of things? That's when we have to trust God and not trust the thing, right? That's when we really have to recognize we are the king's daughter and that he's going to take care of us. He is going to take care of us. This is not his portion for us to be stressed out, for our mental health to suffer, right? To be angry, to be upset, to not sleep, all of those things. That's not his portion. He is growing us, redirecting us, and preparing us for something greater. I said that. Closing a business, changing a career, ending a friendship. That's what a pivot can look like. Shifting how you show up as a woman, a mother, a leader, or daughter. Releasing an identity that's no longer aligned with your purpose. Those are all ways that you could pivot. God doesn't call you to stay stuck. He calls you to move with him, even when the next step feels unfamiliar. The key is this: discernment. So we have to ask God, Is there a lack of peace where I used to feel planted? Did that peace lift? Is that peace gone? Is God closing doors I keep trying to pry open? That relationship, that pattern switched up, things changed. Am I still trying to stay in this relationship that I don't have no business being in anymore? God's telling me to move, but I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm 47 and I have 4 kids and nobody's going to want me. No. Is the fruit drying up in this area of my life? Am I being stretched not to break, but to bloom? Remember, a pivot isn't rejection, it's redirection. God is too faithful to leave you in a place where you can no longer grow. Okay? I am not afraid to pivot. I follow peace, not pressure. I trust that God is making all things new, even when I don't have the full picture yet. Our journal prompts. Where in my life am I feeling nudged to pivot or release something? What would it look like to trust God in that shift? Our action step. Take one step today toward what you feel God is stirring. That might mean journaling the vision, praying over a next move, or releasing a false timeline. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Move in obedience, and the clarity will follow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to evolve. Don't fear the pivot. God meets you in the shift. Okay? You are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to leave that good thing for that God thing. Okay? You are allowed. If you needed permission, which you don't, especially not from me, I'm giving you permission today to pivot, to change, to do whatever it is that you know that you need to be doing. And I pray that you get the strength and the wisdom and the how did the people say? The gusto to move forward, to make that change, to say, you know what, no more. This isn't for me anymore, and I'm moving on. Like, that's like one of the most powerful things you could do. It's one of the most powerful things you can do is have discernment and know when to make that change, okay? So, anyway, that is our devotional for today. Sorry if it was a little all over the place. I really did not prepare until this morning because I was like, I might take the day off, but I'm glad that I did not because I needed that as well. So, mighty good word. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Trust God in all things. Absolutely release what no longer serves me. Trust God in the shift, right? In the shift. That be the thing. We don't be trusting him when it's shifting, when things is shifting and shaking and all of that. We be like, Lord, where are you? Where are you? And he's right there. He's right there. He is right there. Listen, don't be afraid of change. A lot of that we scared of what people gonna think. I'll tell y'all all the time, people is not thinking about us like that. They are thinking about themselves. Thank you, Dakira. Thank you, Nisi. You too, Miss Cassandra. Hey, Ash. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Well, I won't keep y'all. Happy Monday. This is going to be a glorious next few weeks. These kids are almost out of school. Thank you, Lord. My daughter's almost out of school. Not that I don't love keeping my grandson, but baby, he's busy now. He'll be here this morning. I have so many projects and plans for the summer, some things that I've been wanting to get to that I haven't had a chance to get to. Listen, I'm going to enjoy this shift of these kids getting out of school, having slower days, all of that type of stuff. I'm going to enjoy that shift. So get ready. Anyway, happy Monday. I will see y'all on tomorrow. I'll be here at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all. And bye. Oh, I pray and intend for you to have the most amazing day, the most amazing Monday, and the most amazing week. Bye, y'all. Yeah.